Hey my friend, in this lesson I'm going to show you how to use the freeze function of your reverb pedal creatively. You might not be aware of this, but many pedals allow the function of freezing the reverb if you step and keep pressing on the foot switch. Like I have on my brand new Big Sky MX from Strymon, we now have a dedicated infinite foot switch. I can choose it as a momentary foot switch where I keep pressing on it, or as a latching foot switch so that I can step on it just once, and that's what I have chosen for this lesson. So I can just play one note, step on it, and now the reverb is frozen, and we can use that creatively in so many ways. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can use the frozen reverb creatively. Number 1 is quite simple, is just to use a drone as a backdrop on which you can improvise. So a drone is just a fully wet reverberated signal, 100% wet. So I'm going to bring the mix knob all the way up like this. So now when I play, we hear only the reverb, not the dry signal. So I can just use that with one note, freeze it, and then I can improvise on top. I just need to remember to put the mix knob back up just a little bit, or back to where it was, so that we can let some dry signal pass through. All right, so now I can play on top. But now the problem is that it's too dry because the reverb is used for the frozen patch, so that we don't have any ambience left for the dry signal. That's why if you have other pedals for ambience on your board, a delay, a second reverb, you can activate them to add some ambience. Right, so now I have some ambience on top. And what's cool with that method is that since you're freezing only one note, you can choose the scale or the mode that you want, and you can even shift the moods while you're improvising. So the note that is frozen is E. So I could use an E minor pentatonic if I want. Or I could use an E major scale. Or I could use different modes like a E Phrygian, for example. And then you can kind of shift the mood while you're improvising, right? So just let's try it a little bit. So I love improvising like this. This is the first way that you can use it. The second way is to go a bit further. We're going to create an entire chord progression with this principle. So what you're going to do is to play one chord, freeze it, improvise over it, play another chord, freeze it, improvise over it, and so on, right? So it's not going to sound as static as the first method. It's going to be alive and moving, and it can create a full progression, a full song if you want, right? So let's say I'm going to play a progression of A major, and then F sharp minor, and then E, and then back to A major, right? So now I'm going to play my chord, freeze, So it's super cool to try it like this, to play a chord progression and anticipate notes and change the chords. Super beautiful. The third way is to freeze chord layers. You could have a layer of chord that is impossible to play by yourself, but you're freezing many, many notes in a row that amount to a big extended chord, right? So your pedal might allow for different modes, right? Sometimes you have the freeze mode, but you can have the infinite mode too. The freeze mode is just to freeze one note and then the reverb is not applied to the rest of what you play. But if you have an infinite mode, it means that the next notes that you play are also going to be added to the frozen patch. Now that I have chosen the infinite mode, now I can play one note. And if I play another one, it's added to the frozen patch, right? It's not dry. And then I can go on indefinitely. And you get big angelic pads and, like I said, chords that you couldn't play by yourself. It's physically impossible. And you could kind of blend tip number 2 with this one, where you can freeze big reverb patches like this and then change the chords afterwards. So let's do it again. Wow, you really have to be careful of not picking too hard because it can get out of control really quick. It adds a lot of volume because there is so much reverb, so much happening in here. So pick really lightly when you want to add more notes to it. And the fourth way to experiment with that is to freeze different notes and record them into a looper or even a recording software. And then you can manipulate all the different notes together to form the chords by removing and adding some of them, right? So I decided to freeze most of the notes of an E major scale, right? So I have E, and then I have F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and C sharp. So my looper allows for 6 tracks at the same time. So I play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the first 6 notes of a scale, right? And then you can kind of create your own combinations of notes with the frozen patch that's recorded in the looper. Let's check it out. Super nice. So those are many ways you can try the freeze function creatively. If your reverb pedal does not allow a freeze function, you can always get a pedal like the Electro Harmonix Freeze, which is gonna do exactly what you want in this case. If you want to get started writing your own ambient guitar music, go check out my free mini course, A Beginner's Guide to Ambient Guitar. First link in the description box below. It's a 45 minutes free online course, really quick, really actionable, where I'm gonna show you in 3 simple steps what kind of gear you need to get to play ambient guitar, how to set up your pedals and effects to create the most popular ambient guitar tones, and how to get started layering those tones and creating your own arrangements to create your own original ambient guitar music. So it's free, why not? It's my gift to you for watching my video until the end. Go click on the first link below to enroll. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, au revoir.